I'm Liz.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Laura.
So I founded Mortal and Strong, which is a charity campaign putting the spotlight on young women facing their mortality or life-threatening conditions at a young age. And we're using art, interviews to share 100 voices of people who've gone through something, faced their mortality, how they became strong and how they overcame it, sharing messages of hope and positivity.
Yeah, so I answered the call, I suppose, of people who wanted to volunteer. I've got secondary breast cancer. I've also got a dodgy gene mutation and all sorts of other things going on. But I just really wanted to have a platform to spread a bit of hope, I guess, because especially when you're diagnosed with a secondary cancer, you just think, oh my goodness, that's it, I'm going to die. And I'm here and it's 4 years later. And, you know, I just wanted to spread that message, I think, and just empower other women who are going through the same situation, who might be a little bit earlier on in their journey.
Yeah, I've got an autoimmune condition called Addison's disease, and it's quite isolating because it's really rare, and so I was spending some time looking for charities that were working with people that had rare conditions or that were working with women's health, because I also have premature ovarian failure. And I came across Mortal and Strong, and on a whim just said, I don't suppose you're interested, and Liz bit my arm off.
When I was diagnosed with lupus and stage 4 endometriosis, I felt so isolated and rock bottom, and I couldn't imagine how I was going to get my life back. And that's where the idea for sharing messages of hope, so that someone who's beginning their journey can see these women and think, oh, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I can get stronger. And there's quite a lot of communities in isolation. You know, you've got the breast cancer and you've got the rare conditions. But to bring people together and have that overlap, there are so many synergies between the different conditions that we can all learn from each other and bring these communities together.
And my experience on the day, I was so anxious about coming, but I put on my favourite Scamp Dude dress, and I got there, and there was like a common factor that we all shared, and you didn't have to name what it was, and it just brought us together, didn't it? And there were many other people in Scamp Dude dresses that day, not just me.
Pretty much every filming day that we have, several women turn up wearing Scamp Dude.
I know that it's doing some good as well. I like the fact that, you know, you buy a scarf and a scarf is donated. And I've been a beneficiary of one of the lovely scarves, which is what set me on the Scamp Dude trail.
And Liz put on the filming call, wear something in which you feel strong. And for me, it was a no-brainer. Really, I love Scamp Dude and what it stands for.
With the Scars of Gold campaign, the fundamental kind of message that we're using through art is embracing women's scars, and we're doing a very unique photography series where we're applying gold leaf onto these women's scars to celebrate them, and it's inspired by the Japanese art of kintsugi, where they repaired ancient ceramics and antiques when they were broken and would normally get thrown away. They fill them with they fill the cracks with gold, and it creates something new and even more beautiful.
So I think my superpower is resilience, and the reason I say that is when you live with a chronic health condition, you will get knocked down more times than you care to count, but it's not the knocking down that stays with you, it's how many times can you get back up. And I have shown myself in the last 2.5 years that I can get back up far more than I thought I could, and I'm far more resilient than I ever gave myself credit for when I was stressing the small stuff. You know, I can get up as many times as Addison's disease needs me to, because that's what I'm going to do.
My superpower is strength, because it is something which I, at one point, thought I had none of. I didn't think I had any strength left, and I never thought I would be strong. And I was envious of other people who I saw were strong and living their life well with the conditions that I was diagnosed with. So to suddenly feel strong and be in a position where I can share that strength with others and help other people find their strength means so much to me, to be able to pay it forward and go full circle.
I think mine's hopefulness. There's a lot of negativity around chronic disease. There's a lot of negativity around cancer. You know, there are times where things are really bad and I find myself in a deep, dark hole. But ultimately it's the hopefulness that brings me back out of that again, because, you know, while there is still hope, there is still fight, and there is still a reason to push forward and a reason to, yeah, shine as brightly as you possibly can. So I think I would say that, yeah, my superpower is hopefulness.
Now I'm going to cry. So for me, when I started taking steroids 4 times a day, my body shape has changed beyond recognition. You don't necessarily have the energy to get on top of exercise every day. And so I found a way to kind of empower myself, which was through clothes. And I found Scamp Dude before I was diagnosed with Addison's disease. But since being diagnosed, I felt that I have choices. And I think that's what Scamp Dude gives you. You've got a choice of cuts, you've got a choice of fabrics, you've got a choice of colours. And you don't have to be shrouding yourself in black leggings and a black jumper. I mean, there are black leggings and jumper days, but you've got choices. And to have a choice of what you wear, and to put something on and go, oh yes, when you've spent a long time thinking, I don't like how I look in the mirror, it's just beautiful. Particularly with chronic health conditions, your choices get taken away, and anything you can pick, a beautiful dress, a fab pair of earrings, a funky bag, anything like that is a control measure. And that's why I love clothes, and particularly why I love Scamp Dude.
Me, with clothes, I often find that I'm drawn to colours, and especially when I'm in a flare, the kind of harder I'm finding pain and managing my condition, the brighter the colours I tend to go for, because it just tends to, I find it really uplifting. And you know, I've kind of become a bit of a walking rainbow at times, because I just love neon colours and bright colours. I often say to people, the brighter the colours, quite often the more pain I'm in, because I find that it pulls me out.
You've basically said what I was going to say. I think it is that, yeah, it's really hard. As Laura sort of touched upon, when you're on steroids, you put lots of weight on, your body shape changes, and going clothes shopping anyway is a bit of a hellish experience generally. But when you come to Scamp Dude, because like you said, there are so many different sizes and cuts and shapes and styles, and you know, you can literally put anything on and just be like, oh yes, there I am again.
So Mortal and Strong is nearly finished filming. We've got a few more months of filming to capture the rest of the 100 voices, and we're heading towards a big exhibition in spring 2025, where we're going to be sharing and celebrating all these voices, their stories, with a documentary and an exhibition of the photography and artwork. And hopefully we've started a platform that we can continue to share voices through this method of using art to empower people for the foreseeable future. And it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Every voice is another piece of this jigsaw puzzle that's coming together to make this picture of strength and positivity and superpowers.